Okay, guys, this is Word Chapter 2 lecture notes. Okay, so let's go ahead and we want to open up Starbright Satellite Proposal from the Student Common folder. Okay, so it's going to be the boss, and then you'll go to Cornea or Clausen Chapter 2. So just to kind of show you, I already have mine opened up, so this is what you're looking for. But if I wanted to open up a file, right, I'd go File, I would open, and then I want to go to Browse. From Browse, I want to find the Student Common, so I can click on this PC. If I click on this PC, it's going to open up my different options. We're going to go to Desktop. Okay, on Desktop, we have the Student Common folder. We'll double click on that. This class is Boss, right? So we're going to click on Boss. Okay, and then you can go to Cornea. Double click on there. We're in Word right now, so let's click on Word. Chapter 2. Down to Starbright Satellite Proposal. Okay, and then you click Open. And that will take you to this folder right now. Okay. So now that we have it opened up, we want to save it, right? So we're going to go File, Save As. We're going to save it to your Chapter 2 folder. And let's call it the Starbright Satellite Proposal. Okay, so you'll type in that name and then you'll hit save. I'm not going to because it will mess with my system, but you will save it, right? File, Save As. Okay, next we are going to examine the View tab today. So let's go click on the View tab. Okay, and if you guys notice right now, we are in read-only mode. You can see that right there. It says read-only, so I can't edit anything, right? So when I click on the View, I can click on the navigation pane. Okay, and that will actually allow me to see the different navigations, right? So click the different options and let me navigate through. Okay, they basically, these things on the left are called thumbnails. Okay, so it just kind of gives you a small glimpse of what you're going to, and when you click on it, it'll take you there. Okay, and then let's go ahead and close the navigation pane. And then I have two options. I can either hit the escape key, which is in the top left of your keyboard, or I can go click on the view and edit document, and that will take me out of read-only mode. Okay. Next, we're going to click on the web layout button. Okay, so we'll go to the View tab. And then under the Views group, we have the web layout. So I'm going to click on the web layout. Basically, it's going to lay it out. If this were a web page, that's what it would look like. Okay. Now, next, let's go to the outline view. Okay, so we'll click on the outline view. And notice there's an outlining tab that now appears, which is the tab we're on right now. So let's click the Close Outline View button, and that takes us back home. So we got to go back to the View tab again. And now let's click on the Draft View. Okay, so that's typically used for editing text. It takes away all the margins so you can scroll through the document faster. Okay. Now let's go back to Print Layout. So we'll go back up here, Print Layout. And notice that some of the view options are on the blue status bar next to the zoom slider on the bottom. Okay, so we also have these. This is the zoom slider, right? And then we have these different view options. Okay, and you can also change the way that the ribbon displays by choosing the ribbon display option in the upper right corner. Okay, so a lot of you guys will have to remember this. So make a mental note. When I click on this ribbon display option, I have three different options. My favorite is the show tabs and commands. So it's always going to show the tabs and commands, right? I also have just the show tabs. So when I click on the tab, it pops up. When I click on the document, it disappears. So the tabs are still there. And then I have the auto hide. So it's completely gone until I click up there. Okay, so again, my favorite, show tabs and commands. That way things don't disappear and you don't have to go looking for them. Okay. Okay, next we're going to go click on the View tab again. And we're going to click the Ruler checkbox. Okay, so some of you may already be clicked. If it's not, it would look like this. I'd go, again, View tab, Show Group, click on that ruler. Okay, and now it shows me the vertical and horizontal ruler. Okay, vertical up and down. If you fall vertically, you're probably going to die. Horizontally, left to right, and that will show you. If you were to fall that way, then we would just laugh at you. Okay, so let's see where I'm at. Next, we have the grid lines option. Okay, when I click grid lines, it's going to show me the different like alignments, right? So if I'm trying to align something like a picture or whatnot, then that would help me with that. So let's go ahead and click that off. Next, we can click on the navigation pane checkbox. So that's what we saw earlier. The only difference is it doesn't change the view, it's just showing us the navigation pane. So now I can actually search the document. So let's go ahead and click in this search box and type in relocation. And notice that automatically the text is highlighted in the document screen. Right, we can see that it's highlighted. So if I'm trying to look for a specific word or whatnot. And now we're going to click on the third tab. Okay, and notice that the words have the heading styles that are shown. Right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and click back on option 1. Let's go to the home tab. Okay, so we're going to click on the home tab. And let's look at the styles group. Okay, so this is the styles group. Okay, so notice that heading 1 is selected on that. Okay, so that's giving a heading 1 to the styles group. Okay, so now let's go ahead and click the magnifying glass. Go all the way to the right under the editing group. We're still on the home tab. Click the drop down to see all the different options. So we can click advanced find. When I click advanced find, I have these different, this box will pop open. And we can go to the replace. So now when we click on the replace, we can see find what and replace with what. Okay, so we're going to type in the word relocation, or it might already be there. Okay, and then if I would want to replace it with a different word, right, I can change that word. So like, let's say I want to find relocation and put it as place, right? And then I'd be able to replace all. The other option, if I just go to find, okay, and then click find next, and it's going to show me in the document where that word is. And then we also have the reading highlight, and I can just highlight all. So word highlighted 5 times. So now I know that that word is in there 5 times. And it's going to stay highlighted until I turn it off. So let's go ahead and turn it off by clicking the reading highlight and clear highlighting. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and close that out. And let's go to the very top of the document. Okay. And we're going to put our insertion point, which is the flashing line. We'll put it right before the S. And now we're going to go back to the magnifying glass, click that drop down. And this time we're going to choose replace. Okay, so we can click advanced find and we're going to click on the replace tab. And this time in the find what box, we're going to type in Montgomery. And in the replace with box, we're going to type in your last name. So for instance, I'm going to type in Cornea. We're going to click the replace all option. And we can see right here, it made 2 replacements. So then I'll click OK. And then in the find what box, let's type in Slade. But we're going to actually just format it differently now. So in the replace with box, we're going to type in the same word. Okay, so it's going to look for the word Slade and replace with Slade. Make sure you're clicked in that second box, and we're going to click on more. Okay, so that's going to open up different format options. We're going to click the format underneath, and we will click font. Okay, so now we have a couple different options. Okay, so let's go ahead and change a font to Broadway. So you can either scroll down and find Broadway, or you can type it in. We're going to change a font style to italics. We're going to change a font size to 14. We're going to change a font color to dark red. Okay, so let's see, is that, no. Dark red, standard colors right there. We're going to change the underline style to double. Underline style, double lines. Change the underline style to light blue, or underline color to light blue. Let's see, that's blue. Is this light blue? Light blue. And then we're going to click OK. So it kind of gives you a preview right here, right? So that's what it will look like. I'm going to click OK. And now I'm going to click Replace All. 3 replacements made. When I close out of this box, you can see it changed the word slay to the new format. Now it's important when I go find, advanced find again, if I close out of that, when it's looking for the word now, it has the different formatting that I had just applied. Okay, so if I don't change that in the find or in the replace, you can see right here, right? You can see the format. It's looking for that specific word. So if that were to be in the find what, it's only searching for that word with that specific format. Okay, so just remember that. Okay, and then now we're going to actually go to Parker. So we're going to type in Parker, Peter Parker, and replace it with Parker as well. Okay, and then we want to make sure that we change this to no formatting. So click no formatting and that disappears. Okay. Okay, and now I want you guys to go through and change the format for the second Parker. Change it to whatever you want. Just make 3 or 4 different changes. All right. And again, this is on YouTube, so you can push pause. I'm going to keep moving forward. Okay, so we are going to close out of here once you're done with that. So it should change. You should change Parker to whatever thing you want it to. Okay, we're going to click that drop down and click the go to option. Okay, the drop down on the find, go to. Okay, and then this box will appear. And now I'm going to choose page. Okay, so we're looking for page and then type in 3. So this is important on the test because it might tell you to go to a specific line or a specific page. So instead of counting in, just click go to. Because I know most of you guys are thinking, why don't I just scroll to page 3? Well, sometimes there's like 47 pages, right? And instead of scrolling through 36 of them, I can just type in what page I want to go to, right? And then also if I wanted to go to a specific line, I can click line. And let's say it wants me to go to line 17. Type it in, go to, and it automatically takes me to the line. Okay. Now let's go ahead and close out the navigation pane, which is the one on the left. We're going to click on it. We'll close out of here and go to Advanced Find. And then Replace. And go to can also be found on this, which we've talked about. Okay. And then let's go ahead and now save this document. So we're going to click Save. Okay, so now it's saved. If you already had it saved, it'll automatically just save you. That won't pop up. Okay. And now we're going to go to the View tab again. Let's go back to the View tab. And we're going to click the One Page button in the Zoom group. Okay, so I have Zoom. I'm going to click the One Page. So it automatically puts it so that one page fits neatly onto my document. I also have the Multiple Pages button, okay, which is what we were on. And multiple pages. I also can click on this Zoom button, and the dialog box appears, and I can click what percentage I want. Okay, and then I can click OK. It goes to 200%. Now, if I want to use a zoom slider, that is in the bottom right, so I can use the plus minus, or I can actually click and drag it. So if I wanted it 100%, click and drag that. I also have the page width button in the Zoom group. So that automatically makes it so the width fits perfectly. And then I also have what's called the split button. So if I go over here and click split, and now it actually allows me, it splits my document, and so I have two separate windows. Okay, so like let's say I'm trying to copy something, right? I can have it at the top and then scroll down to where I want in the document. Okay, and I can also split and drag this bar to where I want it. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And then now if I want to remove that, I just go back to the View tab, over to the Remove Split, click that, removes the split. Okay, now we're going to go over some keystrokes that will help you guys navigate through the document. Okay, so basically these are keys that you can push on your keyboard that are kind of like shortcuts so that you don't have to click and drag through the entire document or whatnot. So let's go ahead and put our insertion point before the S in star. So very top of the document, you click right before, and that's the S in star. Real quick, let's go ahead and put this document back to 100%. So we'll go View Group, or the Zoom Group in the View tab, and we'll click the 100% button. And it takes it back to 100%. Okay, now again, make sure that insertion point's before the S and star. Okay, now go ahead and look on your keyboard and find the End button. And if you push that End button, it will take you to the end of the line. Okay, so we were just before that S. When I hit the End button, it goes all the way to the right, the end of the line. Now, if I press the Home button, that will, on my keyboard, that'll take me to the very beginning of the line. If I push Page down, that will take me down a page. Okay, like one screen at a time. If I hit Page up, that'll obviously go up one screen at a time. If I hold the Control and Page down, that puts me down a section. Okay. Control Home will take me to the beginning of the document, the very beginning of the document. Control End will take me to the very end of the document. Okay, now if I press the Control key with the mouse, I can double click different words. Okay, so like let's say I double click, I have the word big selected. If I hold the Control key, it allows me to select different words in different lines, and it won't select everything in between. Okay, that would be considered multi-select. Now if I click and drag, that will allow me to select any amount of text that I need to. If I double click, which I covered earlier, double click will select whatever word is in that line. Okay, if I triple click, that will select the entire paragraph. Triple click selects the entire paragraph. If I click in the left margin, that'll select the entire line. Okay, so out in this like gray area. If I click and drag, it will select multiple lines. If I hold Control and click, it will select the entire sentence. If I triple click in the left margin, it will select the entire document. Okay, triple click in the margin. If I hold the Shift key and use the arrow keys while holding the Shift key and select characters at a time. If I do Control, Shift, and arrow, it will select words at a time. If I hold Shift and move the, let's see, that's not working. Shift and End. So if I hold Shift and End, that will select all the way to the end of a sentence. If I do Shift and Home, that will go to the beginning of the sentence. If I do Control, Shift, and Home, that will select all the way to the beginning of the document from whichever line I chose. If I do Control, Shift, and End, that will select all the way to the end of the document. Okay, and then if I do Control, Shift, and Down, that'll select all the way down to the end of a paragraph. Control, Shift, and Up will go to the beginning of the paragraph. And then finally, Control and A will select the entire document. Okay, guys, that's it for this lecture. Hopefully you are so enlightened.